Okay, so we're closing out our in-studio guest extravaganza week with the staff of Frisco Lone Star. Guys, thanks for coming. I want to ask you a little bit about what happened last year, because all I know about Frisco Lone Star, I stopped paying attention after the 2015 title game. Actually, it was before the 2015 title game, so I just presume you guys just keep on going to title games. I look it up. You guys haven't been to a title game in like 6 years. What's the problem at Frisco Lone Star? How broken? I'm kidding, of course.
Well, I was going to ask you where the support from Dave Campbell was. We had a lot of support in 2015, and we're waiting to get that back. Give us a little bit extra juice.
That's fair. But I do want to ask you guys, because the standards there at Frisco Lone Star are so high. Like, every year, you guys, it's like, all right, we expect to play for a state championship. We expect to win our region and things like that, which that is you guys are in a rare echelon of programs in that regard. A lot of programs that doing what you guys do one year would be the best year in program history. So then when you guys do have a season, like last year where, 9-3, you lose to, eventual state finalist College Station in the area round, how do you guys assess what you guys were able to do in 2021?
Number one, we're proud of that 9-3 record. It's not exactly where we wanted to end up. Ran into a buzzsaw in College Station. We knew if we didn't play our best football against those guys, that it was going to be a long night, and that's exactly what happened. Credit to Coach Huff and that College Station team. We actually played them in 2019, and some of those guys that were on that team this year played a lot of minutes in 2019 when we played them. We go 9-3, lose a close one to Denton Ryan and a close one to Aledo at the beginning of the season. Played some of the heavy hitters in the state of Texas. But we're proud of what we accomplished. Fell a little bit short of our goals, and that's why we're here. We're ready to go back to work.
Yeah, 9-3 might be the most deceiving record in Texas, considering the losses were to Ryan, Aledo, and College Station, who I think lost a combined 4 games maybe, stuff like that. I mean, these were heavy hitters. Coach Mossakowski, I want to ask you on the defensive side about. I think people think of Lone Star, and I think they think of high-flying offenses. They think of that. It seems to me that, especially in the past few years, the defense has really flown under the radar. I look at that. The Ryan game's a perfect example. You guys, that game 7-6 is the final. If you guys had not been elite, there's a chance that you guys are getting blown out by a really good Ryan team. And so, as the defensive coordinator, are you happy to fly under the radar? Are you happy to stay out of the headlines? Or do we need to start putting some more respect on the Lone Star defense?
Absolutely. I think our defense does a great job. And we got really great kids that lead our team on the field. And so I'm kind of torn between the two comments, because I like flying under the radar, but I also enjoy, I like pubbing our kids. I like them seeing those type of things on Twitter and all the social media. Like I said, so I'm a little torn on that. I want to answer that, to be honest with you.
That's fine. We can, if you'd like, we can just really start talking about defensive juggernaut Frisco Lone Star, and then everybody's going to game plan for it. And
I figure we get everybody's best shot anyway.
That's true. Yeah, I was going to say. Now, looking forward to 2022, you guys are going to be different. You're going to look different. Most notably, I think Garrett Rangel gone, right? He's off to the next level. Truly spectacular quarterback, 3-year starter. When you take a look overall for both of you guys, when you take a look overall at the 2022 team, how do you think it's going to be different than this past year, even the past couple of years with Garrett at the helm?
Yeah, we're losing some really good players. Garrett Rangel is on the campus at Oklahoma State, battling for the number 2 spot right now. Ashton Genty, our do-everything running backs. He's the number 2 running back at Boise State right now.
He was okay. He seemed okay.
He did some good things.
Yeah.
And then Devin Turner's at Northwestern right now, playing safety and battling for a spot there as well. So we're losing some really good football players. But we've got a lot of great football players back too. And so we feel really good about the amount of experience we have coming back with the amount of youthful talent coming up. And so if we can put it all together, we feel like we've got a really good team.
Okay. And then, that – because that's one of the things that you guys do is one of the things that I think is really interesting about your program, maybe as opposed to other programs is it always seems like you guys have a couple of underclassmen who are playing really important roles on your team. Like every single year, there's going to be some sophomore or some junior that is one of your, let's say, 3 best players. You know what I mean? Just because, and that's not necessarily always the case within Texas high school. Well, a lot of programs are like, we're going to be senior heavy. No matter what, we're going to be senior heavy. I'll give you an is there a guy that we should be on the lookout for right now that maybe is off of our radar, but you think could end up being a household name at the end of the season?
Well, initially, I'll just go ahead and tell you, we're not afraid to play our best players.
Right.
If they're a 9th grader and they're the best player, they're going to play up and they're going to be ready to roll. And we've had a lot of those guys. Really this year, I think we've got a few guys that are a little bit older, juniors and seniors. Ken Adigan played a little bit for us last year at safety. He's going to be a big-time dude for us. Braden Tatum, he's 6'4", and 170. He's playing receiver and DB. We've got some guys that just have so much length and athleticism. Gerald Harris played sparingly last year for us. He played receiver, moved him into running back this year. We've got a great quarterback competition going on right now. So there's always going to be some guys that you don't necessarily know about. They're going to step up that we've seen really mature throughout the year, and they're going to be ready to go when the season hits.
Because that's another thing is you guys seem, and I guess this is part and parcel with playing your best players regardless of classification, right? Is early on, you guys schedule like maniacs. You told me you guys were opening with Texas High. You don't have to do that. That's not in the bylaws of the UIL. You guys can play whoever you want. But then also, do you feel like maybe there's some programs that I can immediately point to that I'm like, when they start the season, they're close to finished products. Like they are very close to what they're going to be. Do you guys feel like you guys are a team that every year, the team you see in week 1 versus the team you see in week 11 is just way different and way bigger, better, stronger?
Yeah, I think every year, if you look at our teams, we've gotten better throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Just getting guys some playing experience and trying to figure out what works best for us, find out what our kids do best, because some of those kids haven't played together. So finding the right chemistry and the camaraderie on the field is really important for us. So I'm always really proud of our coaches and how they work with our kids to find that right balance to get us better as we go along, because at the end of the day, our goals are get into the postseason and go make a run at the whole thing.
Coach Mossakowski, on the defensive side, a lot of that goes back to the flying under the radar thing. A lot of the headliners that are gone from last year's team are on the offensive side. Defensively, what do you think this 2022 team is going to do differently or look differently? Where do you think the strengths are going to be maybe compared to the last couple of years?
Well, I think last year one of our biggest strengths was obviously in our secondary, and that's not going to change. We're going to return 3 of the 4, and they're super successful young men. One of them, Jalen Braxton, is, he's getting a bunch of offers across the country, and he's obviously a very elite player. And then you have Bruce Mitchell, who's another one that's really gained some pub in some areas and does a lot of great things. And then the other return, our other safety, Bennett Fryman, is playing baseball right now, but comes out in the fall, and he's an elite player for us in our safety position. So that's not going to change. I think really where we're going to see a lot of growth is at our linebacker core. Our 4 linebackers are going to be we have one that's going to return and be really super successful, I really believe, and then the other 3 spots have gotten a lot of reps and have done a lot of great things. And so you haven't seen them necessarily yet, but I think you're going to see them that first week, and they're going to open some eyes.
It's Kyle Mossakowski and Jeff Rayburn here from Frisco Lone Star here on Texas Football Today. Let's talk about Frisco ISD, because I think when people think of Frisco, they think you guys have 7,000 schools, which is true. And
it's about to be like 7,002.
I know, yeah. Every year, our realignment comes around, and every year it's like, all right, we got to add 2 more Frisco schools.
Yep.
Frisco schools, it seems like that. From the inside, from the place where you guys are I don't think I'm speaking out of school here when I say you guys are the most accomplished on-field Frisco ISD program. From that perspective, what is it like? What do we not understand about coaching in a place where you guys have, as I said before, 7,000, soon to be 7,002 high schools? How does that change things, and how is that different from maybe other places?
Yeah, well, there's obviously a lot of great things about Frisco ISD across the board, a whole lot more good than there is negative. But there are some challenges that go in with so many schools. Obviously, in a district our size, with now 12 high schools.
12, okay. I'm going to write that down.
There's a lot of things about equity, and every program's a little bit different. We always get the support that we need from our administration, but sometimes when we have 250 kids in our program, another school has 150, same facility, same amount of coaches, same budget, so on and so forth. They always take care of us, but what we always say in our office, you find a way. Good coaches find a way. No matter what you have or what you don't have, it's not about all those things. You find a way to get it done. The feeder pattern issue is something that we all deal with. We're well versed in it, where we don't have direct feeder schools. We get a bulk of one, a small percentage of another. So what our job is at the high school is to create a program and a culture and an atmosphere that everybody wants to be a part of. And so if you're in a one-horse town, you can start that at the elementary school. For us, we just have to continue to build our kids and love our kids and make it something they want to be a part and something they can't live without.
Do you guys, because that's another thing, you mentioned like the feeder patterns and things like that. We had Antonio Wiley from Coppell in recently. That's a big one-school town, right? If he wants to
You know anybody else that went to Coppell?
Shahan J. Raja, the guy who used to work for us, went to Coppell.
No notable offensive lineman.
Yeah, Corey
sitting
Kluber.
Corey right
Kluber.
here.
Yeah,
You
Cy
sure?
Young Award winner Corey Kluber. He went to Coppell Middle School North too. Is on the the 7th grade B team with another guy. Anyway, all that's to say, if he wants to, he can install his offense at Coppell Middle School East, right? And they can run that offense. I take it that because of the situation, because of the differing feeding patterns there, you guys have still a close relationship with the middle schools, but maybe not that same overall fingerprint that other programs can. Is that a fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment.
Okay.
We have different coaches that assign to different schools, and it's a really cool deal in Frisco ISD though, because all 12 head football coaches and athletic coordinators, we have to work really closely together to make it work. We're all men, we all have selfishness, we all have egos, and we all want to do things for our program, but we work really well together to make it work for our kids. Because at the end of the day, if we develop kids at the middle school level, by the time they get to high school, the better developed they are in the weight room, on the field, gives us all a better chance at success.
Well, and the other thing, and you mentioned Frisco ISD, there's always been good coaches there. I don't know that you could put a more. This is a really impressive lineup of just looking at head coaches. There's a really impressive lineup of head coaches that there in Frisco ISD. That it strikes me that whenever you guys get into a room together, you don't have to worry about does this guy actually know what he's talking about with regards to football. It seems like you are when you walk into that room, you're like, all right, all these guys are football coaching jacks. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's from week to week. When we go out on the field and play against somebody else, we're going to get their best, and they're going to get our best. I think everybody's well coached, everybody's well prepared, and I think that's what's allowed us to continue to grow our program too, is because we're challenged all the time.
Coach Mossakowski, what kind of boss is Coach Rayburn?
He's actually a really great boss.
Oh,
Wow, we're throwing the BS flag.
I'm being serious. He's a great guy to work for.
Okay, so what? Because what kind of? How involved is he on the? Can you hear me for me?
Oh.
Okay. How involved is he on the defensive side as far as install is concerned? Is he a guy who has his coordinators and he's the CEO, or is he a guy who's real hands-on as far as install is concerned and that kind of stuff on the defensive side?
He's very hands-off with the defense. I mean, it's really what I want to do and my implementation and there's obviously a dialogue between the two of us, and any big changes that take place, like I'm gonna run it by him first, but he trusts me to do what needs to get done and handle it the right way, and I really appreciate that about him. Like I said,
Do you ever wish their offense would slow down?
No, absolutely not. Who wants their offense to score less points?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I'm not even saying. I'm not saying score.
You know what?
points.
The math checks out.
True. I'm saying from a pace perspective.
No.
We hear that sometimes from defensive coordinators of like, or not defensive coordinators, but coaches who are like are not like we could be way better if our defense weren't out there all the time. It strikes me that this is an offense that runs pretty hot. It runs at a pretty good pace, which means you guys are going to be out there on the field quicker. That doesn't bother you. That's just part of the deal.
We preach. We don't control the tempo, so. whether we're on the field or off the field. And so it's a very easy thing for us to kind of mesh together with our kids and our coaches. And so them being on the field is a great part for me. Like I said, it gives us enough time to go out there and adjust. Like I said, 3 downs is perfect. Or they can go for whatever. It doesn't matter. So we make it work.
So they score in one play. You're not just like, oh, okay, we'll get back out there.
Let's do it. Let's go do it again. Let's figure
Run
out
it
how to
back.
get the ball again.
Well, going back to your question about my involvement with the defense, here's the one thing I'm really good at, Tepper. Hiring good people and getting out of the way. That's what a good coach does, right? Hire good people, get out of the way, let them do their thing. And I'll tell you, Coach Moss and the rest of our staff do such a great – we play two-way guys. You talked about Jalen Braxton and Devin Turner. They played almost every snap, both sides of the ball last year. And our best players are going to be on the field. And so when we talk about how fast we go and sharing players – the great thing about the staff that we have is they're unselfish. They just want to win. And I think everybody wants to win, but we all have, I want to score this many points on offense, or I want to hold them this many if we don't have to run as many plays, whatever it is. But our guys are unselfish. They just want to win. So it makes it really, really easy for us to kind of put it all together.
Well, you mentioned hiring good people. It seems like you have to do that a lot. Your staff has a lot of turnover, and for good reasons, right? For example, 2 of your guys are now off to be head coaches from this past staff, and John Fish and Clint Surratt. They're off to be their own head coaches. As your coaching tree grows, whenever a guy like John Fish or a guy like Clint Surratt goes out and gets their own head coaching job, what's that like for you when they walk in and say, "Hey, here's a letter saying here's my 2 weeks"? I don't know if that's how it works. I never resigned from a job.
Number one, the first thing is I'm super proud for our coaches to get to where they want to be. I always tell our guys, I'm sitting in the chair that I want to sit in. Just like our players, they want to go and play in college. They have goals to do this, that, and the other, and it's our job to help them get there. And it's no different in the role that I sit in. My goal is to help them reach their goals as team first, but as individuals as well. So it's a proud moment, and really we talk about our culture and our program. To have the opportunity to spread that to other kids and give them the opportunity that we feel is special, it's a really cool feeling to see. And and I don't know if it's that we've had great guys, but sometimes I think they just get tired of being around me a little bit because I leave Coach Moss alone, so I can't. He's the one guy I got to make sure he stays. But I think I'm probably too involved over there, so I need to step away.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
I knew where you were going with that.
I'll only just agree with you. But at the same time, on a serious note, that means you're hiring a lot of assistants. Like every year, it seems like there's going to be turnover on your staff. What are you looking for whenever someone? Because I imagine, and Coach Moss, I guess you can speak to this. People want to come work for Lone Star. It's a good program to work for, whether you want to just coach at a really good high school or obviously there is a track record of them getting hired on as their own head coaches. So when you have a job opening, there's almost certainly going to be at least 3 or 4 applicants for that job.
Well, a few.
What are you looking for whenever for somebody to join your staff?
I don't want to sound like a generic answer here, but just the right guy, the right fit. It's not always the best coach. It's the right guy and the right fit. Number one, who's great with our kids. The kids will love. They'll play hard for them. The X's and the O's. I mean, we're going to do what we do at our place, and we're going to add and adapt and adjust and all those things. But somebody's got to come in and love our kids and be great for our staff. Because we have a great time in our office. We've got a great staff, and we just want to be around great people because we feel like that culture, that chemistry, the ball stuff, everybody has their offense, their defense, and everybody can draw stuff up. But it's the actual relationship piece of it. Can they fit with us? If they could fit with us, we can figure everything else out.
Okay, let's talk realignment. Realignment came out simultaneously a shakeup and not a whole lot changing for you guys. Obviously, your district is a little bit different. You're adding in teams like Liberty and Frisco High are joining your district. It's now an all Fritz. Poor Sherman. Sherman's just gonna be you're getting together with district meetings. It's like, oh, hey, I guess I'm here too. When realignment came out, because there's that, but then also Region 2 took on a new facelift, and teams that were there before, like Denton Ryan and the Magnolia schools, are gone. But other quality programs like Mansfield Timberview, like Crosby, come in. When realignment came out, were you surprised? What was the reaction in the? I'll start with you. What was the reaction in the Lone Star offices whenever the PDF got uploaded?
Excited, I guess, would be the best answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, we know what kind of Frisco schools we're gonna end up playing, and so it's always who's gonna be that extra person that comes into the district, or how are they gonna work that out? Are we gonna be in a 8-team, a 9-team? How are they gonna? What's that gonna look like? And then, so we already had a pretty good idea of our non-district opponents, and so just kind of looking at that, I was like, I feel really good about it.
How do you feel about a 9-team district? So I presume two non-district and then 8 district games.
If I have a younger team that's going to have a year to develop before we go to that, then I'm okay with a bigger district. If we have a younger team, like I said, I'd probably prefer a little bit more of a non-district schedule, just to prep those guys and get them ready. Like I said, they need to have some experience before we go start making a count. So,
Coach Rayburn, what was realignment day like for you?
Honestly, every realignment, I just kind of throw my hands up and say, it is what it is. Have no control over it. So the good thing is we know we're always going to be with a bunch of Frisco schools. So travel and things like that and schedule and sub-varsity games, those things are really easy for us. But is it going to be Sherman? Is it going to be McKinney North? Is it going to be the Colony? Who's it going to be? And you're going to have to play great teams regardless. Region 2 has been Murderers Row for a long, long time, and I think it's no different, just different people in it.
Yeah. Pickle, do we have any questions from the people?
Yeah, we got quite a few. The first one, any advice for a young aspiring coach?
Ooh.
Drop some words of wisdom here for us.
No, what we tell everybody is just come ready to work and ready to learn and learn how to do things the right way. Show loyalty to the coaches that you're working with and you're working for. Be great for kids. Be great in the classroom. All the things that you can control, you've got to be doing those things at a high level. And if you don't, then that's where you'll get in trouble. The X's and O's and the ball stuff, you can learn if you're willing to learn. The other stuff, learn how to work hard and do all the things that nobody else wants to do, move the water pipes or do the laundry or clean up the field or fill up the water buckets. Those are all things that are important. So be willing to do those things.
What's your grunt work job?
Whatever needs to get done.
That's why he's the right-hand man. Okay, any other questions from the people?
Yeah, we got about 2 more here. At a smaller school, they have something specific, like you've got to be a science teacher, a linebackers coach, a women's basketball assistant coach, that kind of thing. How often does that happen in a big school like Lone Star?
Yeah.
No different.
Yeah.
You're within a second sport, and that's the other thing is if you're expected to be elite football coach, you're expected to be an elite softball coach or elite basketball coach, our kids and our programs deserve the best. And so if you're not willing to give your best in everything you do, then I guarantee you Lone Star is probably not the spot for you.
Coach Moss, what's your other sports?
Powerlifting.
Okay.
And then I do our strength and conditioning stuff.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the strength and conditioning. All right. One more question.
One more question here. Who on the coaching staff can bench press the most?
This is a good segue.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
That's
I know this.
Rashad Robinson, stovepipe.
Hands down.
Yes.
Really?
It's not even a question. He benches more with one arm than all of us do with both.
Probably combined, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but is he the guy who skips leg day and it's all upper body, or is it no? It's the whole.
He can do it all.
He is the full package.
Okay. All right. That's saying a lot.
I have one more personal question real fast too. Who y'all always have fresh shoe game? Who picks the shoes?
Excellent.
I've
question.
always noticed that.
You want to?
I was going to say, put them up there.
See, this is nice. Look at this.
You got the J's on.
Get nice.
Who
Okay,
picks them?
That's excellent.
No, well, we get the staff shoes, but then the coaches will go and if it's not enough swag for them, they're going to go and get their own. Coach
Okay,
Moss
I
got a
respect
couple
it.
pairs. We went to Jordan uniforms a couple years ago.
I respect it.
So everybody wants the Jumpman shoes, and even our kids want to see our coach. We have one coach that didn't have J's on, and so one of the kids brought his J's to make sure his coach looked good on the sideline.
Wow.
That's what's up. That's culture right there.
That's right.
That's establishing a culture in your program.
It'd be like, I can't have my coach drag
That's
us
right.
on the sideline. So
Coach isn't better if he looks better.
I can
right?
get you my shoe size if you need it. Just type it. Just whatever
You got it.
whatever you need. Okay.
Size 6, I got it.
Women, petite. Okay. So you guys are known as the fittest staff in Texas. All y'all are in very good shape. It's CrossFit McGee over here. Coach Moss, how much pressure is there from on high? I won't name names, but on high to stay in shape.
I mean, if it's not coming from on high, it's coming from me as well.
Okay. So you are like you're the problem here too.
Like I said, I don't know if it's a problem. I'm just trying to help you live longer and help you healthy, and and I think it's a great bonding experience for us too. Like I said, we go in there, and it's not just we talk football. We talk about life. We talk about each other. We talk about our families, and so there's a lot that goes on there.
Okay, because this is interesting because obviously you guys, you're eating healthy, you're staying in shape and stuff like that. And yet, I want to hear about Baskin Robbins because I learned from an informant that there was a moment where the staff gathered together for some let's say
He said,
some team building. I think they say at a Baskin Robbins. What happened here?
Well, Coach Moss is probably better at sharing that because he's like the expert Baskin Robbins. And really, if there's any type of cookie sponsorship out there, Great American Cookie Company,
You would wear that on the sidelines here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, we wouldn't have half of our coaches on the sideline anymore because they'd be in the stands eating cookies. But or we can say those for after the game. So if there's anybody out there, cookie sponsorship, we're in.
I love it.
But Coach Moss can share Baskin Robbins.
Because I just imagine you guys are just eating like grilled chicken breasts and all day. But it sounds like that's not true.
It's not. Really, we work out so that I can eat that way.
Okay.
It's kind of
Counteracts.
got to work really hard so I can go have something that I really enjoy. And so, we decided that we were going to go eat sushi one day, and then that slowly rolled into eating an entire ice cream cake.
An entire ice cream cake.
Yes, it was actually not that hard. There was 5 of us, and
Well,
the
more impressive thing was, so we walked into the Baskin Robbins and we looked in the freezer and grabbed a big cake and we said let's go to town. The most impressive thing was because those are kind of frozen.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we tried to cut it and things like that and it just wasn't working out. So we just all went in one hand after the other.
Like savages.
But we got it done.
Now this was in a Baskin Robbins.
It was.
So people with children.
Were you getting the side eye?
Are walking in saying, "Don't look over there at the monsters, honey."
I think they were really impressed.
You're just like clawing clawing Fudgy the whale.
Yeah, were you just like yelling like, "This is brotherhood"? Like, is that people making eye contact?
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't really notice what was going on around us. We were so invested.
But this was
in the
after
cake.
sushi.
Yeah, isn't that how everybody does it? You
go
eat sushi first, and
then you ice cream cake.
You go like a sushi boat, followed by an ice cream cake.
That's bulking season.
Okay. Final question from me. We've heard a lot about Jeff Rayburn, head football coach, Jeff Rayburn, program builder, all these things. I want to hear about Jeff Rayburn, cheer dad, because I understand there's an athlete living in your house who is quite the cheerleader, and that you are cheer dad. Is this correct?
Absolutely, cheer dad all the way.
Okay.
So I didn't know a whole lot about it when we started. Mm-hmm. She's been doing tumbling. And
how old is she?
She's 11.
Okay.
In 5th grade. So Campbell. Hi, Campbell.
Nice.
Hope she's not watching. Watch her later.
She's on her phone. You got her kicked up on a desk. You're like, whatever, right, Dad?
Well, she talks about you all the time, so maybe it's on there.
Thanks for watching.
No, we've been involved in the cheer stuff, and she really got involved this last year. And so we're going. We went to Atlanta. They're about to go to Orlando. We've got another competition here in Frisco this weekend. So
this is serious cheerleading.
It's a serious cheer. It's Express Cheer there in Frisco. So really proud. It's so much hard work. And I told her the first time I saw her go out, walk on stage, I said I get the same feeling at kickoff, like kind of those butterflies, because one slip up here, one slip up there, and their whole routine is in trouble.
Yeah.
And so I get nervous for her and all her friends and teammates. But it's really fun and cool to watch. I never thought I'd be a cheer dad, but I've really enjoyed it. And so
go ahead.
Okay, because like me playing basketball and my dad, we would get back in the car and it was breakdown time. Like he probably broke it down more than a coach would, or in my coaches ever did. Do you get in the car? Is it like, okay, here's what happened, here's what we need to do better, or is it like you did good, that's the end of it?
Yeah, we just try to build up the positive.
Okay.
And make sure we have the right state of mind. And
You're not like,
that.
what was up with that back handspring? Just
no, I don't know
terrible.
enough about those
That's-
things. Okay. Now, I hear from some of the other cheer moms and things like that and my wife, and I'm so like, okay, well, I can build on that.
Now, are you
Trying.
out there with the iPhone? Are you recording and stuff like that, or are you sitting there just like?
No, because when you go out there, like you're supposed to, like part of it is like the whole experience. So you have to cheer, like you have to make
Yes.
noise and things like that. So I'm trying to be a part that way, and my filming skills aren't up to par of what they want. So
Okay.
there's another mom that does that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, landscape. You got to go turn the phone to the side.
Got it. I'll
and
work
stuff
on
like
that.
It's, if you do it up and down, they're gonna get real mad at you. It's Kyle Mossakowski from the defense coordinator from Frisco Lone Star, and Jeff Rayburn, the head coach at Frisco Lone Star. Guys, thanks for joining us. Now you know where our office is. You guys can just drop in, bring an ice cream cake.
Well, if y'all are willing to eat it like we do, I'm sure Pickle
Oh yeah,
is.
I got you.
Listen, we do a show
gut is always
every
ready.
day, okay? Every day. This is 1,365. If we just want to spend another, like, if the next time you guys want to come in, if you want to bring an ice cream cake, Pickle, would you do this?
Yeah, we can just sit here and eat cake.
And get Ish in here and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Get 5 people and see what we can do to
Maybe we'll bring our 5 and your 5.
Oh, a
And we'll see what
contest.
happens.
Now you're speaking.
See now, but it sounds like
But
you
we
guys-
don't train hard to
gonna
be
say, it
able to
sounds like
eat
you
that
guys
hard.
This isn't a contest.
I was gonna say
No.
No, it's not. Now this girl at one point did say that she could eat. What were we saying? 2 large pizzas
are we bringing this back up?
in like 4 hours
It was not 4 hours. I said a work day.
in a work day.
The
2
gut is
lar-
deceiving.
2
I
large
will.
pizzas.
I've got confidence in the gut.
But you're not a speed eater, is what I'm saying. Like, how long did it take you guys to eat that whole ice cream cake?
10 minutes.
Well, after eating sushi, you're kind of full, right? So you better eat fast or you're gonna get more full. Isn't that how it works?
I mean, yeah, but
Hey, we'll bring it in here.
I just
We'll-
quit eating.
Let's just settle this over a contest.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
that's right.
settle this. We'll
That's
get our we'll run 5s and we'll see what we can do. Kyle Mossakowski and Jeff Rayburn from Frisco Lone Star. Guys, appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.